Donald Trump wants you to believe he's winning the trade war. But the truth? He's cornered. He's retreating. And while he stumbles, the rest of the world is moving fast, together, to push back. In just the past few days, something historic has happened. The BRICS nations have stepped into a new era of unity. Xi Jinping and Lula da Silva are openly promising the strongest China-Brazil alliance in history, calling for a united global South to defend sovereignty, fight US bullying, and rewrite the rules of global trade. It's more than diplomacy. It's a direct challenge to American dominance. And here's the interesting part. Trump isn't fighting China head-on. He's chickened out again, just hours before massive tariffs on Chinese imports were set to explode to 145%. He quietly gave Beijing another 90-day extension. You know why? Because the US cannot afford to get into this trade war with China. This is, in fact, the second time the US has postponed putting tariffs on China. No new deal. No real win. Just a pause. Because China holds the leverage, from rare earth magnets to America's Christmas supply chain. If Trump goes ahead with the tariffs, the disaster that will follow in the US economy, supply of essential products, and even industrial operations would be devastating. Meanwhile, India, Brazil, and South Africa are being hit with brutal tariffs. And instead of breaking under pressure, they're rallying behind each other. BRICS is no longer just a talk shop. It's becoming a coordinated resistance. If you think this is just about trade, you're wrong. This is about a global power shift. A world where America isn't the one calling the shots. And if Trump keeps backing down, the global South might just take the lead for good. Stay tuned, because what's coming next could change America's place in the world forever. And it's not looking good for Washington. But first, ensure you are subscribed. Then let's get into the details of what is happening. You need to understand just how reckless Donald Trump's trade war has become. Instead of targeted policy, it's a hurricane, hitting friend and foe alike. Overnight, he has slapped 50% tariffs on Brazilian goods, 30% on South African exports, and severe penalties on India for buying Russian oil. These aren't minor inconveniences. They're crippling blows to entire economies. And here's the irony. The man who claims he's bringing jobs back is actually pushing countries to unite against America. Think about it. In one move, he has managed to turn the BRICS bloc, a loose collection of often competing nations, into a coordinated force. They weren't always this close. India and China had border disputes. Brazil often looked west for trade. But Trump's tariffs are shoving them together like magnets. And you know what's dangerous? It's working. Trump has created the very thing US foreign policy has spent decades trying to avoid, which is a united front of emerging economies, pooling their resources and influence, not because they love each other, but because they now have a common enemy. And into this newly energized BRICS unity steps Vladimir Putin. Let's be clear, Vladimir Putin is no saint. But politically, he's playing chess while Trump keeps knocking over the board. The Russian president wasted no time after Trump's tariff barrage. He called Modi in India to reinforce old ties, talked peace in Ukraine, and secured an invitation to the 23rd India-Russia summit. That's not just a diplomatic formality. That's a public sign to Washington that India won't be bullied into cutting off Moscow. Then came Brazil's Lula. He's furious over the 50% tariff on Brazilian goods. For an economy that relies heavily on agricultural exports, this is devastating. Putin's offer is closer cooperation in trade, energy, and defense. Exactly the kind of partnership that makes Brazil less dependent on the United States. And Lula didn't need much convincing. These calls were about locking in alliances before the US could drive wedges between BRICS members. And let's be honest, Trump made Putin's job easy. By targeting all these countries at once, he removed any incentive for them to play nice with Washington. So while Trump boasts about being a deal maker, he's actually dealing himself out of influence. He's pushing leaders straight into Putin's open arms. And once these leaders build the habit of working together without the US, it'll be nearly impossible to undo. Here's where things get even more dangerous for Trump. China, under Xi Jinping, is not just brushing off US tariffs. It's calling them out as tariff blackmail. This is Beijing openly accusing Washington of weaponizing trade policy. Xi isn't hiding his contempt, and he's not backing down. He made it clear to Putin. China will not be intimidated. Meanwhile, South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa is trying to walk a fine line. A 30% tariff on South African exports to the US is a massive hit. Ramaphosa talks to Putin, talks to Zelensky, tries to appear neutral, but neutrality doesn't pay the bills. The reality is, when your economy takes that kind of punch, you start looking for allies who won't punish you. And right now, that's BRICS. Trump thinks he's isolating Russia and China, but he's actually isolating America. South Africa may not fully align with Moscow or Beijing yet, but every time the US raises tariffs, it pushes them closer. This is what happens when you treat trade policy like a reality TV stunt. You don't just hurt your opponents, you alienate everyone else watching. And once they see you as a threat, they start building networks to keep you in check. That's exactly what's happening now. The BRICS alliance is far from flawless. Brazil, for example, is still at the table with Washington negotiating for tariff exemptions. But here's the critical detail. President Lula is doing this without surrendering any of Brazil's commitments to BRICS. He's keeping talks with the US alive while simultaneously deepening ties with China, Russia, India, and South Africa. This is no longer about picking sides. It's about constructing a safety net strong enough to catch Brazil if America turns openly hostile. And that's exactly what should worry Washington. Once nations succeed in building alternative trade routes, their own payment systems and shared resource networks, US leverage begins to erode. These changes may take time to implement, but when they do take hold, they tend to last. All of this is happening while the US dollar stands in a weak and precarious position. And Donald Trump is acting as if nothing is wrong. The dollar is the bedrock of America's global power. It's why nations trade with the US, extend credit to the US, and trust its economy. But that trust is fraying. Inflation is stubbornly high, national debt is spiraling, and foreign investors are already on edge. This is not the moment to gamble with America's financial credibility. Yet Trump is playing high-risk games as though the dollar's decline is of no concern. When the dollar is fragile, it doesn't take much to trigger a crisis. A reckless trade war, an uncontrolled spending surge, or another shockwave of tariffs could be enough to make the rest of the world lose faith in it completely. And here's the dangerous truth. Key rivals like China and Russia, along with some US allies, are waiting for exactly that moment. They have a clear goal. Stop using the dollar and replace it with their own currencies. The shift is already underway. More countries are settling deals in Chinese yuan, Russian rubles, or even gold. If Trump keeps pushing the US economy toward the edge, this shift will accelerate. And when it does, it's ordinary Americans who will be hit first and hardest. Across Asia, de-dollarization is gathering speed, and it won't stop there. The fallout would be immediate and brutal. Oil, food, clothing, electronics, all of it more expensive. Interest rates climbing fast, savings losing value. This wouldn't unfold gradually. It could happen almost overnight, leaving millions blindsided. The truth is simple. The dollar's survival depends on defending it. Right now, Trump is giving America's rivals the perfect opening to strike. And if they succeed, the consequences won't just be economic. They will mark the start of a full-blown national crisis. In the middle of this mess, one relationship is standing out, and that is the relationship between Xi Jinping and Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Xi says China-Brazil relations are now the strongest in history. Lula responds by pledging to resist unilateralism and protectionism, which is diplomatic code for, "We're not letting Trump push us around." They're aligning on more than just trade. They're coordinating on climate policy, energy cooperation, and even political messaging about fairness in the global system. Xi calls it a shared future. Lula calls it sovereignty. Either way, they're sending the same signal. They'll defend their independence together. It must be remembered that Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva is one of the loudest and most persistent voices pushing for de-dollarization. Within BRICS, no other leader talks about it as often or as openly as Lula. He has repeatedly called for global trade to be done in local currencies instead of the US dollar, and he has backed new payment systems designed to bypass America's financial power. For Lula, this isn't just an economic idea. It's a mission to reduce US influence over the global South. That makes him a direct threat to Donald Trump's vision of American dominance. In short, Trump and Lula are on a collision course. One is fighting to keep the dollar on top, the other is working to bring it down. And if tensions boil over, BRICS could become the biggest battlefield in the global currency war one. For Trump, this is a nightmare. Brazil was never supposed to be China's closest partner in the Americas. But now, thanks to his tariff hammer, Xi and Lula are turning their countries into pillars of a global South coalition. Here's the part the White House doesn't want you to notice. Trump just backed down from a full-scale tariff escalation against China. Again, hours before tariffs were set to jump to 145% on Chinese imports, he signed a 90-day extension to keep them at current levels. Why? Because China has him cornered. They control two things America can't do without: cheap consumer goods for the holiday season and rare earth magnets for manufacturing. If Beijing turns off either supply, US prices skyrocket and industries stall. Politically, that's suicide for Trump. So instead of charging ahead, he retreats, but not for India, not for Brazil, not for South Africa. They get punished. China gets a pass. That's not a calculated strategy. It's political fear. Trump's inconsistency is glaring. He punishes smaller economies because they can't fight back, while tiptoeing around Beijing because they can hit him where it hurts most: at home. China isn't in a hurry to end this. Every time Trump delays, it strengthens Beijing's hand. They know US retailers and manufacturers will lobby hard against higher tariffs, especially before Christmas. They also know Trump's political brand relies on appearing tough, but only in ways that don't crash the stock market. Rumors are swirling about a Xi-Trump summit in October. Don't think for a second that Xi will stick to talking about tariffs. He'll bring in fentanyl accusations, oil purchases from sanctioned countries, and US company restrictions. The more issues he piles on, the more Trump will have to trade away to claim a win. This is the difference between a long-term strategy and short-term showmanship. Beijing is patient. Trump is desperate for quick headlines. And in trade wars, patience always wins. Trump promised his tariffs would revive American manufacturing, bring jobs back, and make the US stronger. But the reality is the exact opposite. Instead of a manufacturing boom, factories are struggling under higher costs for imported materials. Steel, aluminum, machinery parts, everything became more expensive. Companies that were supposed to benefit are now cutting back, laying off workers, or shutting down completely. The numbers tell the truth Trump doesn't want to admit. Manufacturing jobs are down, production growth has stalled, and export orders have dried up as other countries retaliate with their own tariffs. Farmers, once promised prosperity, are drowning in losses as foreign buyers turn to other suppliers. Meanwhile, the global market that Trump thought he could bend to America's will has simply moved on, forming new partnerships that cut the US out entirely. It's now undeniable that Trump never thought this trade war through. There was no real plan for the backlash, no blueprint for keeping jobs at home once costs exploded, and no foresight to recognize that America's rivals would adapt faster and smarter than expected. Instead of making America great again, his tariffs have left it more isolated, more expensive, and less competitive on the global stage. The real question now is this: if the rest of the world is building a system that works without the United States, how long before Washington is no longer invited to the table? If you want to stay ahead of these global shifts, before they hit your wallet, make sure you're subscribed and turn the notification bell on. See you in the next one.